Oh, there's no sound. Oh. So why is it doing this now? Okay. Tell me if you can hear me now. Do 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 do. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear the sound now. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Oh, you got me now. Oh, so I was just here ranting and rambling and nobody could hear me. I was saying that there's a very brand new setup that I have going on right now. This setup is I'm streaming to YouTube, I'm streaming to Facebook, and I'm streaming to Instagram all at the same time. That this is going to be a new segment. It's called the Diaspora Dial In. Now, I am trying this out. I don't know how it's going to work because Caribbean people can be real whatless sometimes and real slack and real foolish when they're ready. But I wanted to kind of give us place where we could, yes, you're here talking to yourself. Oh, sorry, solid and valid. Okay, Rosanna, you're hearing. Okay, good. Marlon Farron, loud and clear. Good, good, good. All right. So I wanted to have the ability for us to talk about certain topics. I just wanted to get into a little bit about me and some of the changes that I'm making because, as you know, I've had to kind of tweak what I do a bit. It doesn't work anymore. We've reached this point where I don't know what it is. But I'm kind of fed up of it and I want to change. So I didn't want to be in this situation any longer where like I'm fighting with people about what's happening in their country. I feel like whatever's going on in your country is going on in your country. I used to cover it, but for some reason, people have gotten extremely sensitive about their country's news. And I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. I'm just, honestly, guys, I'm just not interested in that kind of blogging anymore. A lot of you would be like, no, but you're where I get my Caribbean news and da 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 da. But the problem is we're in this battle with the diaspora is in a battle with like local Caribbean people. And the battle is like they don't want us talking about their news. That's just become very obvious and very evident, right? Like for you to be in Sweden or the UK or someplace and you get information about the Caribbean from me, you like that. But for some reason, they don't want me giving information about the Caribbean at all. So whenever I do speak, it turns into a combat. It is like, shut your mouth, go talk about Barbados, go talk about this place, go talk about that place, da, 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 da. And someone left a comment and then be like, how can you talk about certain countries being afraid, but then you're afraid? And then I'm like, I'm not afraid of anybody. I just feel like I was put on this earth to do way more constructive things than to sit down and argue and go back and forth with somebody about your news. Like the other day when I posted up, okay, well, the election is over in Guyana. You know, Irfan won. It was just like, you must have got paid by so-and-so to say, and I'm like, don't be stupid. This man won the election. And they're like, oh, well, Geocom hasn't called it yet. They're like, don't be stupid. This man has won the election. That's just how my mind works. Like, why are we being dumb? He won the election. Irfan Ali won the election. Like, why are we doing this? So I guess maybe they're holding on to some kind of hope or whatever. I need you guys to drop a like on this video wherever you're seeing it. Because, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. I don't know what day we're going to do. I'm going to do a poll on all of the platforms to see what's the best day to do this segment. I thought that it might be Mondays, but we'll see, you know. Let me test and see if the sound is working for the audio here, because I have, let's see. Get in there, we ain't up, see all the men. All right, that's Lil Rick. Good, 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 good. So someone said Friday, NC Guy 37. I've been seeing you a lot, NC Guy 37. I might have to promote you on Team Babbzy because you be here. One thing is you be here. You'll always have detractors no matter what you cover. I totally agree. But I would rather a detractor cover because I'm covering something like you're mad at me for giving the facts. That's stupid. I'd rather argue about like if LeBron James is the king of basketball versus Michael Jordan. Like which one of them was the greatest player. I'd rather debate about that than debate about what's going on in your country, which this is a solid fact that this is what's happening and transpiring in your country. Like, that seems stupid to me. Like, I don't have that type of energy. Like, if we want to talk about, who makes the best Chinese food, sure. You know what I mean? That's Guyana. I'm not arguing about that, right? You might have your opinion and I'll have mine. But what I'm not going to do is argue about, what's happening in this country, that country. And then it's like, this was in the news. This was in the news. And then it's like, why are you talking about da 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 da? Prime example of it was like Hulk Hogan died. And I posted up, Hulk Hogan passed away. He had some struggles with racism, this, that, the other. I saw all these people in the comments like, why are you posting this for? Because it's the motherfucking news. What do you mean, what am I posting it for? Did you go and ask CNN why they posted it? Did you go and ask TMZ why they posted it? Why are you asking me why I posted it for? You know what I mean? Like, why are you asking me why I posted it for? I posted it and I gave my opinion, which is what I always do. You feel me? So when it's like, why are you posting up Hulk Hogan? He was a racist. Did you read the caption? I clearly stated that he was a racist. Like, you know what I mean? Why are we doing that? Don't do that. So it's like, that's the part that gets me mad. I feel like people are always saying to me, why are you talking? Why are you talking? Like, I've been here 15 years. What do you mean? Why am I not allowed to talk? I've been here for 15 years. Tell me this. Explain this to me. Right? So today we wanted to get into the topics of Guyana and Jamaica's election. But before we do that, I want to make something clear about the situation that transpired in Grenada, where the Senator Nylon Franklin, 28-year-old Senator Nylon Franklin, was found. He died, and the autopsy shows that he was given some type of coolant antifreeze poison to drink in his drink, which is how he ended up dying. I don't think this is a funny situation. I feel like this situation is really, really bad. The reason that I talked about it again and brought it up is because you guys were saying that I'm a liar. You guys were saying that I am trying to drag down Grenada and make Grenada look bad. So when this happened, I put it up because I'm like, here is the proof to support my statements and my stance on why I will not eat food from Grenadian people. Here is a young 28-year-old man who was recently poisoned, who was a senator. So like, this is a high level person. And I got a lot of messages because apparently a lot of people have been poisoned over the last couple of months in Grenada. And I'm just saying to you, you might not get shot there, you might not get stabbed there, but you might get poisoned if someone doesn't like you, and you don't know who likes you from who doesn't like you. So you really need to be careful because they will poison you there. That is one of their means of killing people, is through poisoning. And I just saying, I'm letting you know, like, that's where I stand. We're going back to not discussing Grenada, right? Because we've never really discussed Grenada on this platform. And I'm just going to stay at that stage where things are. So our condolences go out to Nylon Franklin's family. This is very tragic and very unfortunate. Had it been any other country, I think we would kind of be a little bit more adamant to get involved, to try to find out who killed him and make, that person pay and get justice for Nylon. But because of the dynamic, I'm not going near that situation. So as you guys could probably understand, it doesn't make sense for me to do. So I will not be going near that story whatsoever. So let's talk about the election in Grenada. Not Grenada. Let's talk about the election in Jamaica first. So Andrew Holness has secured a third term in Jamaica. And I'll be honest with you, this absolutely shocked me to see that Andrew Holness was reelected again. Since I've been a blogger, I've noticed the rapid decline in Jamaica in a few areas. I was very shocked at the reelection of Andrew Holness. Now, Jamaica is also one of these countries that we don't speak on very often. I'm going to explain to you why that is, because there's some issues with some Jamaicans on social media. So this is why I might not discuss the topics a lot of the time. But this election here really shocked me that Andrew Holness was reelected. First off, I feel like Jamaica has reached a point where they need to get rid of both of these political parties. I know that might sound crazy to you, but listen and hear hear me out so that you can understand where I'm coming from with this. Both of these political sides have a real dark past, right? Jamaica was a thriving, thriving and flourishing nation that was doing extremely well until the greed and the corruption of these political leaders back in the late 70s and early 80s came into play. What started to happen was these are the people that introduced gun violence to the Jamaican people. This is how Jamaica became such a, I guess you want to call it murder capital. It reached that point because of politicians. And please provide the statistics where poison is the main source of killing in Grenada. Okay. It's not a statistic that I would provide, but it was a report that came out. I'll get that for you. And yeah, what happened has happened in Jamaica is these two political parties, both of them, right, are guilty of giving guns to the ghetto communities to help them win these elections back in the late 70s and early 80s. Now that the murder rate is kind of out of control in Jamaica, no one talks about it because somebody has to take ownership and control of it. And it has to be either the PNP or the JLP. And they have to talk about this because they are involved in the reason why Jamaica has a problem with guns. They are the primary source, right? There are other sources, but they're the ones that really introduced this crime in Jamaica. So you will not really hear them speak much on the crime because they're the reason for it. So that's why you kind of notice they don't really talk about it. But my issue with the election right now and Andrew Holness being reelected is not because of JLP or PNP and all of this stuff, because I'm not a tribal person. I'm a facts person, right? So if in this election, the side that is going to be giving me what I need is on a Democratic type of a side, I'm going to have to vote Democratic. If this election, the person's going to be a conservative and they're going to be more so giving us what we need, I'm going to have to vote conservative. I'm not tribal. So I'm not the kind of person that's like, my great grandma voted for this side, so I'm voting for this side. I'm not that type of a person. I have to think about what I'm doing. I have to think about my decision. I need facts, I need evidence, and I need proof of certain things. So that is why I feel Jamaica needs to get rid of their political sides. And I feel like Jamaica needs to go to a format where they are actually just voting for their local MP who is not on a side, and then they're voting for their prime minister who is not on a side. I think this format might make more sense because I don't see a true election and a true political campaign when I watch all of the election campaign trails in Jamaica. I see a party. I see people coming to jump up in the road, dance in the road, wind up in the road, frolic in the road. And I don't think that you're paying attention to what's going to happen over the next 5 years. I think that this election especially started off really negatively because it was Andrew Holness's integrity versus Mark Golden's nationality. And I thought that this was going to be really bad because this was kind of what Donald Trump did. And really and truly, I felt bad because there was this accusation that Mark Golding is not actually Jamaican and he went to school here. And I was just like, oh man, like Andrew Holness really did this right now. Like, I feel like an election is supposed to be, let's choose who's better of the two. And instead of let's not choose who's the worst of the two. And I felt like that was what the election was like in Jamaica. I feel like it was a situation where, you know, how does somebody who's been riddled with corruption allegations, etc., like how does he? I don't know. It seemed weird to me that he got reelected. And I mean, a lot of the Jamaicans are happy with it, which is fine. Maybe it's because a lot of them are GLP, and you know, JLP, sorry, and that I don't know. I just don't like the fact that let me see. I'm gonna bring this proof that this person was poisoned in, because we always have proof of whatever it is we got to say. Um yeah, so I just feel like Andrew Holness is not focusing on education, and one of the biggest concerns for me is the education of the Jamaican people. I feel like Jamaica is struggling tremendously as it pertains to the literacy rate around the Caribbean. The Caribbean has is this article here. The Caribbean, it pretty much is doing well with their literacy rates in other nations, but in Jamaica, it's kind of like behind, and I think that Andrew Holness is not paying enough attention to this, and that was my concern because I feel like Jamaicans have got to up their education. It is very, very important that Jamaicans start to become more educated, because if they don't, it's like this is just going to continue to be a situation where the literacy rate of Jamaicans is too low. The rest of the Caribbean is in the high 90s, and then like Jamaica is in a place right now where it's like one in every five Jamaican adults is functionally illiterate, meaning they're not able to fill out job applications. They're not able to do any of that. So that's bad. I feel like that needs attention, and it's reached a point where in Jamaica we have to pay attention to this. So let's just step back a bit because somebody wanted proof of what happened to Nylon. So let's show this. You should be able to see this right now. So ex-Senator Nylon Franklin was poisoned. Preliminary autopsy reveals. So renowned pathologist Professor Hubert Daisley concluded that Nylon Franklin died from multiple organ failure caused by lethal substances in his body. So that's Nylon there. I hope that's big enough for everybody to see. So Grenada is in shock following the death of former opposition Senator Nylon Franklin, whose autopsy has preliminarily concluded that he succumbed to poisoning, likely caused by antifreeze, a toxic coolant commonly used in vehicles. So there's evidence number one that he was poisoned. And then here is article number 2 outlining that he was poisoned, because I know you guys want to run and say that I'm telling lies. So here's the proof from the autopsy report that he was poisoned as well. So it says Grenada shock rippled through political and social circles yesterday as the autopsy of the deceased former Senator Nylon Franklin pointed that his death was due to an antifreeze poisoning that led to multiple of his organs failing. So there we go. There's the proof that he was poisoned. And that that's what happened to him. Yeah, that's what happened. And you didn't need proof. You just want to make it seem like I have something against Grenada, which is fine. I'm not going to really get too yada, yada, yada about it. But yeah, like you felt like I was going to come up here and lie, right? Like that's kind of probably where you came from. So that's what it is. So yeah, that's what had happened. So yeah, back to Jamaica. My concern is education. It is the education of Jamaicans that I'm really, really concerned about, because I think that's the focus of really why there's a lot of problems. Comprehension is low, and it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed because I was going through some of the most recent United Nations statistics that I got sent about the education in the Caribbean, and the Jamaican one was kind of concerning, and the UNICEF as well. So they were saying that out of all of the children that graduate from primary school in Jamaica, 40% of them are entering secondary school illiterate. That is really bad. That is extremely bad. 40% of primary students are graduating primary school and entering secondary school illiterate. 74% of them are failing mathematics. So, like, that is really, really bad because what that tells me is these teachers are just not teaching these students, right? Like, they're just giving them, they're coming to school and they're doing certain things. But what actually really shocked me was the number of years that Jamaican students are in school averages 11.7 years, right? But when they actually do the quality of the schooling, it works out to 7.2 years. So you're spending 11.7 years, 12 years in school, but you're coming out with the education of 7 years. So if you graduate at 16, you're coming out at the stage or the level of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Now that you are not able to, or now able to go around the Caribbean and go to other countries, you're at a major disadvantage because yeah, you graduated high school in Jamaica, but you are at the level of a 12 and 13-year-old. That's really bad. So if you're not going to post-secondary school and you're like, okay, well, I graduated high school in Jamaica. When you compare those schooling years, you are actually at 7.2 years, not at 11.7. That is really bad. And I wanted to talk about that because I felt like, this is important. This is really, really, really important. Like, that's bad. So now that you have more access to schools, right? Because back in the day in Jamaica, there were less people that were having access to schools. So there were less educated people, but they were more educated back then. The quality of education in Jamaica was higher back in the 70s. It was higher back in the 80s, right? But even though it had less people coming to school and going to school, they had less children who were of school age attending school. They were more educated. Now you have more people attending school in Jamaica, more school-age children attending school in Jamaica, but the quality of the schooling has declined substantially. So this is something that I would really, really, really feel like Andrew Hollis needs to pay attention to. And it's not a JLP or PNP thing for me. I would like you to focus on education because you can tell that there's a struggle with basic comprehension. There is a struggle. And if 1 in every 5 adults in Jamaica is functionally illiterate, meaning they can't fill out a job application, they can't fill out immigration forms, right? Like, what is the point of, like, what? There's a huge gap here. So I think something needs to be done. The one your school, no, Kim Walsh, your brothers, depending on how old they are, would have been falling under the older system of higher education quality. We're talking about present day, the individuals that are currently going to school right now in Jamaica. Yes, the people who went to school in Jamaica before were they were getting a higher quality education. America's not the standard. America is actually lower than a lot of the rest of the world. When you look at education, like Canada is very, very high on the list, right? America is lower than Canada. I mean, unless you're going to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, those types of schools, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the lines for Jamaica for people to have conversations about Jamaica, the election, how they feel about the election, and where their thoughts on it. I was absolutely shocked that Andrew Holness won. So the phone number to call in is 416-346-7665. If you want to call in and discuss Jamaica right now, that would be wonderful. 1 second. So yeah. That is what it is. So let's read the comments. Super chat from Roja Hines. Thank you, sweetheart. You're right, but Babbzy has had a long battle with Grenadians. I could be wrong. I don't think she would make such a bold statement without actual facts to back it up. I do have a multitude of individuals from Grenada that have reached out to me stating that they have had family members poisoned over land, had family members poisoned over a multitude of things. I'm not going into this conversation with Grenada. I'm not interested in it. I have to be interested in it, because I can't. I'm not interested, right? Like, and that's just where I am with that topic. I'm not interested in Grenada. I'm not interested in helping. I'm not interested in intervening. I'm not interested in whatever. I'm just saying that I'm talking about the Nylon Franklin situation in Grenada, because when I said that you have to be careful in Grenada how you eat from people, because there's a problem with poisoning down there. You said that I was a liar. So here is proof that one of your top senators was poisoned by somebody. That's why I'm posting that story. That's the only reason why. We're not talking about Grenada. We will never talk about Grenada on here. This is not a Grenada conversation. You can have that conversation somewhere else. I'm going to do my own survey of my small group, because at least one of them must be done. Praying I'm not the one. No, the quality of education in Jamaica. Call in Kim Welsh, please. Thank you. The quality of education was much higher back in the day. So those who were educated in Jamaica were actually educated. They actually got a very good, strong, solid education. Now, what's happening is they're not getting that strong education. They're going to school and there's more access and there's more people going to school in Jamaica. But what's happening is they're not getting the equivalent schooling as it pertains to like global standards, right? So that's where the problem is. So for me, my concern is Andrew Holness doesn't really seem to care much about education. And a Black person who's not literate in this day and age is a crime. You have got to be able to read, write. And it's not about going to school. It's not about a job. It's about having comprehension. It's about having the ability to have comprehension skills, to interact with others, to be able to analyze information. Me personally, I feel like not necessarily the JLP, but I feel like Andrew himself is deliberately trying to keep Jamaicans in a place of confusion. His integrity is questionable for me, and the reason for that, and I'll give you a prime example of why I felt that way. Okay, Kim, you work out, girl, good body, gal. What happened with Andrew Holness and Usain Bolt and this SSL money? Okay, so Usain Bolt is missing millions of US dollars out of his bank account, and let me give you my credentials first before somebody's like, who are you? Because that's what you guys always like to do. I have been a senior business and systems analyst in IT since the year 2000. I work on financial systems predominantly. So I work on banking and insurance systems, and basically, I am the person who makes the changes to the systems. I make changes to the systems for the authority levels, for people to move money, etc. So this is something that I'm actually an expert in, right? Like this is something that I actually do, okay? Like since the year 2000, I've been in IT, and I've been in insurance, and I have been in banking, and I've been on financial systems. So SSL and this money moving situation with Usain Bolt, I'm explaining to you that I have expertise in this, so I understand what is happening here. Andrew Holness explained that the money is being investigated and that he has to keep the doors open for SSL because they need to find out what happened to the money. He said that the people of Jamaica need to pay to keep SSL open because that's how their investigation is going to be done. Now, let me word this correctly because this is the head of state of a nation. I'm not going to say to you that Andrew Holness is a liar, but what I'm going to tell you is that he's either lying or someone who gave him the information that he's relaying lied to him. This is absolutely false. Usain Bolt's money missing is a 30-minute investigation, maximum, okay? Because like I said, I actually did a little dig into it to see like, okay, SSL, are they like, modernized? So when I go on their website, you can do this form where you can fill out and have a conversation with somebody. And what I saw was that they have a WordPress website, which means that their WordPress is connected to a database. So they're not running some mouse in a wheel ancient day system, because they have the ability to import, right, people who want appointments to be able to have an appointment to meet with someone at SSL, and they're able to do that electronically. So they do have databases. They're a modernized they're a modernized company, right? You're not calling a number and asking to talk to somebody and make an appointment. Like, you can make an appointment online, and then that's gonna go to their, I guess, if they have their Lotus Notes or their Outlook. So this is like they're modern. They're not running some like mom and pop shop over there at SSL. They have a modern enough way that you can do an online basically appointment to meet with somebody, and that's gonna go directly to that person's calendar. So I know that enough. I was doing some digging. Now, the reason that I said this is a 30-minute investigation, it should not be taking 2 years, is because of this. And I don't want to get too techie, but just pay attention and follow along. Whenever you do anything in a bank or in an insurance company or a financial institution, it is considered a transaction. These transactions, for records management purposes, have got to be stored for a minimum of 7 years. That's what it is at First Caribbean Bank in Barbados. That's what it is. Like, that is what it is. You have to save these transactions in case there's any discrepancies or there's any problems, etc. These transactions are stored in a database, right? Now, just to kind of give you an understanding so that you don't get too lost, it's like your phone company has a record of every single text and every single phone call that you've made. You can delete the text off of your phone, but the phone company still has a record of that transaction. So you have your outside woman, you're texting her, and then you delete the text. The phone company still has that text, right? You cannot delete transactions out of a database like that. So that's just to kind of give you an understanding of where Usain Bolt's money transactions would have been happening. Now, I am a business analyst, and when I do changes on a system, I have to test them. So I have the ability to move money and move, do transactions that most people would not be allowed to do. You cannot move $1 million in a system in Jamaica. There's no way you can just be like, transfer $1 million from this account to that account. That's impossible. The only way you could have done that is if somebody in IT like me did that, or somebody very high up with a high authority made that transaction happen on the front end. I don't believe Usain Bolt's money was moved on the front end, meaning somebody typed into the system and made those transactions. That money was moved on the back end. Those types of transactions are too large. You cannot move $1 million in Jamaica in an account like that undetected. There's just no way that can happen. So that money would have had to been moving in small amounts, and even in small amounts. So all you would have had to do was run an SQL query of every single transaction that has ever happened on Usain Bolt's account from the day he got it until the day that you guys found the money missing, right? That is a 30-second SQL query. That is a 30-second SQL query. You do not need to keep the lights on and employ all these people. This is not an operations issue. This is an IT issue, right? That money moved somewhere. It either transferred to someone's account or it was withdrawn. Then what you do is you run that against a query against all of your financial transactions, because most times companies have a financial database where the people who do the accounting, etc., run all of where they pay the checks out to, who they've done electronic transfers to. That normally is in another database. It could be in the same. Most times it's not. Right? So the money transactions happen one place and then the system transactions happen another place. All you have to do is run a query on the financial database and see where all the money moved on these days. So if you saw the money move on October the 10th, right? You saw $1 million move, then you would just pull a query of everybody's account that had money deposited on that particular day. It's very simple. You know who took Usain Bolt's money. Okay? You know who took Usain Bolt's money. Hi, Cheryl. Are you Cheryl Lashley on YouTube? If you are, please tell me if you're Cheryl Lashley. I need to know who Cheryl Lashley is. Cheryl Lashley sent me a very big birthday gift. I need to know who Cheryl Lashley is, okay? So, Natalie Gadsden, what's up? So, it's a query. It's a query against a database and a query against a financial system. This is not some complex situation. Andrew Holness and SSL know exactly who took Usain Bolt's money. They know exactly what's happening. They're just lying to you, bold-faced. And because they know you don't know what they're talking about, they're just lying. Now, I'm not going to accuse Andrew Holness of lying, but what I will say is that I feel like Andrew Holness is lying. I think that he's very well aware of what's happened to the money and he's just bullshitting you. There's no way that it takes this long to investigate what happened to that money. That's a simple database. That's a simple database query. And the longer you hope, oh, Cheryl, okay, Cheryl, I need to talk to you. Thank you so much for the birthday gift. I want to send you something. Can you message me, please? WhatsApp me the number on the screen, Cheryl. The 416-346-7665. Please WhatsApp me. I have to send you like a rum punch or something. I'm going to send you something. Okay? Please WhatsApp me to this number on the screen. All right? All right. So yeah, so when he's like, oh, we have to keep the doors open and the operations is happening and this, that, whatever. And then I'm like, Andrew, come on, bro. What are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Don't do this, bro. Like, why are we doing this? You know, like, this is not what's going on in Jamaica right now. Like, you're not going to just come up and have a press conference and bold-faced lie to the people of Jamaica like this. Like, you know what happened to Usain Bolt's money. What do you mean you need to take? And why I was upset about that, and I'm just giving you my opinion. Remember, we don't really do Jamaican news on my platform. But why I was upset about that is, why should the people of Jamaica pay for this? The average person in Jamaica doesn't have an SSL account. So these are the things that I don't like about Andrew Holness. I feel like he's just not. I would rather a prime minister like Mark Golding, who allegedly the nationality is in question, versus Andrew Holness, whose integrity is in question. His integrity is in question. Like, he has some serious integrity questions about him. And I don't really talk about politics in Jamaica because it's always like JLP versus PNP. And I'm like, I'm not on that, right? I'm not saying that Mark Golding is a saint. I'm not saying that, but I saw what Andrew Holness did in this election. I noticed that he turned around and he was like, look, we're gonna go this nationality battle, because he knows that there's a large group of Jamaicans, a large group of Jamaican people that do not like outsiders. And he went for that demographic. He's like, I'm going to get these people on my side. And I'm going to paint Mark Golding to be this outsider. And we're going to fight this battle because people in Jamaica are not going to want to vote for Mark Golding, because we're going to paint him to be an outsider. And that's why I have a problem with this election. I felt like the election in Jamaica was based off of hate, as opposed to based off of who is going to be the better prime minister. I felt that it was based off who is going to be the wusser prime minister. Babbzy, I'm 100% Lucian, and I just love you. You keep it real time. Love you too, Natalie Gatson. Guyana. Oh, my lawyer's reached. I haven't seen you for the longest time, Guyanese ESQ Esquire. How you doing, girl? Long time no see. Yep, it's easy to find where the money went. I work for it in 15 years in JA. Lee Grand, like when I'm listening to Andrew Holness talking, I'm like, bro, you're lying. You're really gonna get up on this platform and lie to these, like the world can see you, you look dumb, bro. And my thing is this, I want my prime minister to be somebody that the world looks at and respects. Like, I feel good when people are like, Mia Motley, yo, she's the champion of the world. And I'm like, yeah, get them Barbados. You better go out there and represent on that the climate control shit. She's passionate about the climate control. When people are like, oh, you're from Barbados? Your prime minister's Mia Motley. She's yeah, man, we got a smart ass prime minister. What you mean? What you talking about? Yeah, Doug. Yeah, Doug. Like, I feel good about that. I don't want my prime minister to be seen as some scammer them daya, shutter them daya. You know what I mean? Like, I want my prime minister to be see somebody as intelligent and articulate and things of that nature. And one sec. Yeah. So, like, that's what I want. I want my prime minister to be seen as somebody to be like, yeah, man, you see that island of Barbados? They got a prime minister over there. She is so intelligent. Atisha Grant, Guyana locked on. You blooming and shining. Keep us informed. All right, let's get to Guyana now. So Guyana's election. Oh, Lord have mercy. Before we get to the Guyana election, I want to say a speedy recovery to Lola Doll. Lola Doll is one of the original Guyanese followers of mine that I had from way back in the day. I don't want to get too much into it, but, she's gone through some trials and tribulations as a social media influencer. And, I wish her a speedy recovery. I love Lola Doll. I've always respected Lola Doll. She's one of the original Guyanese followers of mine. And she got shot 8 times. And she's not able to speak. And crimes against women in the Caribbean like that, I'm just crazy. Lord have mercy. Let me see. So let's see. Andrew just like Bajan and Ali, them would lie sitting on Jesus' lap. Okay, well, lie Babbzy at large. Hope you are looking after yourself. Thank you, Lee D. Lee D, what's up, girl? How you doing? Yeah. I had to ask about Soca hitting international stage. Mia is dope. I met her. I love her. Okay, let's get to Guyana. So Guyana's election, Jamaica's election was on the 3rd of September. Guyana's election was on the 1st of September. And it's not a secret that I don't have a problem with Irfan Ali. I think Irfan Ali is actually a very intellectual person. He's very smart. I like him. But I do not like Bharat the Rat, Jagadu, or whatever his name is. I don't like him. Now, let me tell Guyanese people why I do not like Bharat. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you don't know what you're going to move your scunt. Let me tell you, I can talk for myself, I don't struggle when it comes to being articulate, okay? I don't like Bharat, not just because of the Barbados incident. Like, the Barbados incident shows his persona, right? I feel like Bharat is one of these people that is struggling with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Which is, you think you're very smart, but you're actually not. He's one of these people. He has a very arrogant way of speaking. He thinks he's smarter than everybody, but he's not. He's not. And so when he speaks, he sounds very, 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 very ignorant. And he doesn't understand how ignorant he comes across when he speaks, right? I understand how ignorant I am when I speak, when I talk to you and I call you a skunt. I know that you're going to be like, oh, that girl, she has no behavior. She comes on and she curses so badly. Babbzy. But I know when I got to buckle down and tell you, like just now, like with the IT with Usain Bolt, right? I know I can tell you, I can give you a breakdown that these people are lying, that Usain Bolt, everybody knows where his money is. Everybody knows what happened to him. Andrew Holness is lying, and I don't know what's going to happen with his money. They said they're going to start repaying him back, but they know who took his money. They know who took his money. It's impossible for them to not know who took his money. It's a very, very simple query. So for Bharat the Rat now, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't feel like he's for the Guyanese people. He gives me this impression that he's this Indian that feels that he's high and mighty. Now, Muhammad, everybody's talking to me about Muhammad. I like Muhammad's energy, okay? I don't know about Muhammad's history. I don't know what he done in the past. I don't know if he stole a green orange from the Demerara River back in 1981. I don't know about Muhammad, but I like Muhammad's energy. I like Irfan's energy. I don't like Bharat. I do not like Bharat. I don't believe he's an intellectual person. He went to school in Russia, allegedly, back in the 90s. I would like to see some type of modernized education with Bharat Jadegu. I don't even want to pronounce his name. I don't believe he's educated. I think he went to Russia and was building igloos over there. That's what I think. I don't think Bharat went to Russia to get educated. He got a economics degree and master's in I believe Bharat was building igloos in Russia. I don't believe you. You don't come across as somebody intelligent to me. I don't know. And if you did do all this stuff in Russia, what happened? You're regressing intellectually. You don't sound intelligent. I was good and is this person went to Barbados and say that Barbados is not a real destination, Barbados is not a real destination, cause Barbados is just a little skip over the water and what the fuck you talking about, boy? You could be living in Guyana and say that Barbados is a destination. And the crown, he bringing in the crown and what the rascal you talking about? Boss man, you was the vice president of a rascal nation, Are you up there talking beer cunt when you just get up there? I never hear you say nothing intelligent or articulate or sound and this and that yet. There's nothing I ever, when I see Irfan go out and talk about certain topics and he talking about the oil and the situation that going on with the oil and how they had to like reassess reassess the situation and whatever, like I telling myself, look, but I don't know how reassess the money and the transactions at Exxon Oil and Guyana, but I just hear Irfan speak like intelligently. But when I hear Bart, it's like, I can't, the person, like, hush you rascal, man. Come and talk. You got an economics degree. Come and tell us something about the economics and going on in Guyana. Tell me why the Guyanese dollar ain't getting enough stronger. Talk about that there. Since you got a big rascal degree in that there, come and talk that there now. Hey, the person got the Barbados. And, I don't really feel like Barbados is a destination, God, the person name is fucking Muhammad. I feel you jealous of the man. I don't really do the Indian man thing, but Muhammad look better than you. The person, rascal. Come and tell the Guyanese people something of substance. What are you talking about Muhammad gone Barbados for? We ain't care about that there. We want information. Right? What gonna happen with the Henry Boys situation there? What gonna go down there? Right? Let me talk about that. What gonna happen with Adriana Young? Come and talk something respectable. We want to know what happened with these black children that getting killed in Guyana. That's what we want to know about the Henry Boys and them. What gonna happen with them? The person got, Barbados is a respectable destination. God bless you down there in a straw hut jumping mosquitoes and talking about destination. You coming to come talk down upon people. That's why I don't like him. He got this thing about him like, you not some high society person, Somebody must tell you Donald Trump or some kind. You was not a big shot, boy. Nobody in the world don't know you. Nobody. You's a vice president that nobody don't know. If something happened to Irfan, you can't go and talk for he. You notice when they just go on the world things, you don't go. You notice that you just got to sit down. You got to sit back on the bench. You notice that then just don't send you ever because you can't go and give no speech. You can't go and talk for Guyana. You can't go and make Guyana look good. So you can't go out there and talk for them. Now the people in Guyana are saying that this election was rigged, right? So let me talk about that. In Guyana, you got to be careful what you say on the internet because you can lose your job, you can lose certain things. Somebody tell Odessa Primus call in here, please. If anybody know Odessa, tell she call me. Or Gordon Mosley, tell them call me. Call the number on the screen here, the 416 number. I want to talk to Odessa or I want to talk to Gordon Mosley. I don't really want to talk to nobody with a heavy tongue that can come and say, oh, tell me why you don't think that go, because it's because you black and Indian. Black and Indians don't quarrel in Barbados. Black and Indian people don't quarrel in Canada. These are the places I'm from. We don't quarrel with Indian people. I don't know what Indian black thing you talking about. That must be you got a problem where you is in Guyana as an Indian and black, but we don't have them problems over here. Most of my supporters from Trinidad is Indians. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't come and tell me nothing. So when you come and you say these things to me and be like, oh, it's because he's Indian. Because he's Indian? I don't have a problem with Indian people. I live in Canada, so hold on a minute. I live in Canada and I racist against Indians in Guyana? What kind of... Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk to one quick, right? Let me tell you guys something. I can just keep it. I can take it down a little bit, right? I's a Bajan, right? But I born and raised in Canada. So when you just come and talk about I gotta collect rainwater to bathe and these things, right? You sound stupid as ras soul. Cause I always had running water in Canada. I live in Canada. Right? Canada's a first world nation, right? I ain't know if you didn't know this here. Cause maybe you only see Canada on postcards and things. So let me tell you about Canada. I have 1,000,001 things that I could do, right? If I put in Drake address right now, show you Drake is about 21 minutes drive from here. But the way I drive, maybe about 13 minutes, right? I could talk about Drake, Tory Lanez, Weekend went to the same high school as me. I don't need to talk about Guyana, right? I talk about Guyana because I'm a Caribbean blogger. And to me, Guyana is part of the Caribbean, right? I don't have nothing against the Indian. I went down in Guyana and eat from Indian people, right? North Road and Regent Street and these things. I went down Guyana already. I went down Guyana and checked Eddie Brother. Here I tell you. Shop and spend all my money on Regent Street and come home breakfast can. Okay? If you feel that somebody in Canada got reason to sit down and be jealous of somebody in Guyana, you lost your fucking mind. I telling you this, right? Don't come up here and make an ass of yourself. You gonna look rascal stupid. Guyana ain't got nothing for me to be jealous of. Except the Chinese food. And the green orange that got rid of my sore throat that I did take when I was at church and camp. And the people that bake the bread in the morning at Lady Fingers. Outside of that, there ain't no reason for me to be jealous of Guyana, okay? When you do that cunt there, you just kind of tap into this side of me that has make me get ignorant, right? And then Lord Evil just come and start to pelt talk. And when Lord Evil does pelt talk, it just kind of go back. Cause what I don't like when Lord Evil does pelt talk, right? I don't come and do this cunt here. Babbzy jealous of Guyanese people. I am not jealous of no Guyana, okay? I live in Canada. Right now, my thumb hurting me. I could walk in any hospital out here and get help, okay? Yeah, I tell you, the fire truck people is up the road. When I did choking the other day, them is who come here first. With them gas mask and all kind of thing to help me. Firemen know how to save people life. The firemen in Guyana know how to save people. Don't do this here, right? I just given a place for people to talk. Don't come and tell me no rascal about who and talk about this and that. I can tell you about your mother. And then you won't get offended. Then I can tell you about how your neck big as rascal and your neck big like the rims on my car. And then you can say I fat shaming you and all these things. And then it can get ugly. Right? But let me go down the road now. Kimmy Cat, what's up? Guyanese people call in here and tell me about the election and tell me what you think. So the Guyanese people feel like the election votes was done shady. They feel like the party that won got people to vote that were from Venezuela that are not legal in Guyana, and they also felt that they got people who were dead and deceased to vote. Biometrics don't exist right now in the Guyanese elections. They're not using them, and apparently they're against them. So this is what they feel, that a lot of the people that voted were dead people. And this is very interesting to me. I'm going to be taking a very bigger look into this. So a lot of the Guyanese people feel that they did not win, that they stole this election. That is the belief of the election. And that's the belief of some of the Guyanese people right now, that they feel like the Guyanese, the winning party stole votes and got dead people to vote and these things. But it wasn't the rat that come up with that idea. Cause God be your fan. Cause for you to go and put dead people to vote, God bless you, your God be a different kind of cunt to do them things there, boy. You get up and get dead people to vote, but oh, they get dead people to vote. Why what? So you mean to tell me if I go in an election, I could go and get all the dead people around the world to come and vote for me? So yeah, that's the vote. That's what they say. They feel that they had the Guyanese people that are deceased and Venezuelan illegal people vote in the elections. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know how false that is, but I know that a lot of people feel very, 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 very adamant about that. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week in the Caribbean. 2 elections, 2 countries that are both kind of like needing some help, and then 1 election. I don't know. I see people saying that PNP election was stolen. I don't think the PNP election was stolen in Jamaica. I feel like both. I feel the situation in Jamaica is just, I don't think Jamaicans just understand like the importance of the politics. A lot of them, I don't think that they looked at the fact that they need to vote on certain things and what's going to happen for them over the next 5 years, and you know, how this is going to impact their families and their children and things of that nature. I just think that in Jamaica, election time is party time for them. I feel like they just wanted to get up in the road and drink some Ray Nephew and wine in the road and shackle out and ting and whatever. So is anyone going to call in? Because I'm going to take calls now from people from both sides, Guyana and from Jamaica. I'm going to leave the lines open for a bit. And if you don't want to call in, I'll just should I bust some music and see if I could play a little 1-2 tune here? I don't even know if I could play a little 1-2 song here. But if is this gonna cover me up? Oh, yeah. So people want to talk about the election, how they feel, what they thought. I'm very kind of disappointed that Andrew Holness was what's this? Very kind of disappointed that Andrew Holness was reelected. I actually, not that I'm pro Mark Golding, but I felt that he might have been a better choice than Andrew Holness at this time.
Them want know what the flag queen, no who can that be? They call her Babbzy, and she wonder God would forgive her for the thing.
Tell me if you guys, is it echoing?
They call her Babbzy, and she wonder if God would forgive her for the things she did. She know it's not perfect and it's not worth it. As long as Babbzy live, is no plugging. Sometimes she wonder if He would forgive her for all of her sins, responsible for all the blogging. Big casket for them down in a lane. Babbzy have God, we go doof dog, we go roof. Tell a little blogger boy put away them dus. Cause that can't save you when Babbzy crew them rise. The thing went on like a Rima bush down.
A Rima bush.
Thing went on like a Rima bush down in a me heart where evil eye. Evil fingers and evil eye. If you're this Babbzy, well no people die. Couple it longer than KFC fry. Babbzy murder them. Them and nobody call Babbzy, never heard of them. Touch the blanca boy, I bet them never make a blog again. Famous and dead looking face on CNN.
So it's echoing. Okay. I had a feeling it would be. Where's Odessa? I wanted Odessa Prime to call me, man. I wanted to talk to she. I want some big brain. I want some big brain people to come talk to me, man. I'm telling you. They said it's echoing. Is this echoing? Everyone's like, nah, Babbzy, this hard. That was hard. Oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go. If anyone's gonna call in, Odessa, call the number there. 416-346-7665. Call it on WhatsApp, please. You have been requested by the world. They say that you was the smartest woman in Guyana. When it comes to this politics thing, they say Odessa, Babbzy, you need Odessa. Bring she here, come up here. WhatsApp, call me there. I'm gonna play some music in a sec. Odessa about here. Well, you know the big shots land. Odessa, call girl. I want to talk to you, man. Bring your rascal up here. You understand? Call up here. Watch it on YouTube. Trying to be productive. Oh, okay. People got sweetened by the disbursement from Ali. Oh Lord. Odessa, call the number. WhatsApp. I want to talk to you. They say you're the smartest woman in Guyana. Yeah. You understand? Let's see what I can find here. You guys want some slackness while I wait for Odessa?
Back shot to your favorite position. Back shot to your favorite position. Back shot to your favorite position. Cock it up to the backers. Put in your belly, can't call it.
Do not cock it up for the backers tonight, please, people. I do not want any of you pregnant. Thank you.
Call it the hatters. Remember send me cock it tougher than crackers. Tell your body good, your body better than the others. Penny two for me, want slap it up, packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble. Skin it out, me a ring it out. Pretty little gold mine, me a dig it out. And me hood a the faranda. You a build it out, and me hood a the faranda. Sit down on it. Cock up on it, girl, back up on it, girl, choke on it, girl, cock hard on it. Go hard on it, girl, look how hard on it, girl. Press out the bike, hope you not from it. Now backers, put in your belly, can't call it a hatters. Remember say me cock it tougher than crackers. Tell your body good, your body better than the others. Penny two for me, want slap it up, packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble. Here be no man and here's it on it. You a wife it on it, I'm here it on it. If you go on your head, that's scary on it. 2 foot in the skylight, fear it on it. Cock up on it, girl, back up on it, girl. Choke on it, girl, cock hard on it. Go hard on it, girl, look how hard on it, girl. Press out the bike, hope you not from it. Now backers, put in your belly, can't call it a hatters. Remember say me cock it tougher than crackers. Tell your body good, your body better than the others. Penny two for me, want slap it up, packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble and packers. Bubble you a bubble.
Hold on a second. Let me tell you something. People are messaging me.
Viking Zilla.
Says up to the time.
Vibes Cartel. Ladies.
Static. Hey, girl, bend your back. Bubble and that. Quick kick, bend your tack. Everything shot. Hey, girl, bend your back. Bubble and that. Kick, bend your tack. Everything shot.
Hey girl, just wine and bend over. Giving to the beat of the soca. Do it on the tabletop on the sofa. You're from Trinidad, you're from Europa. You're from Jamaica.
See, she did though. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me get you set up in here properly. Say something, sweet girl. Let me hear you. Say something, Odessa. I'm not hearing her, you know. Hold on. Say something now.
I can hear you loud. I can hear you loud and clear though.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get you back in there now. Say something there now. No, she's not coming through there. Okay, we'll just put you through here. How you doing, sweet girl?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Listen,
Well, I could, but I choose not to.
the whole of you country running me down and telling me, listen, Babbzy, you gotta talk to this Odessa. Odessa's the one with these facts and the files and the this and the that and the thing and the bing and you know. So I said, let me call you, man. What's going on, girl?
I thought it was the wrong person. Everybody was tagging me, and I'm like, I don't think that she meant me.
No, I think it's you, right? You talking about the election and thing, right?
Right.
Well, it's not people, man. I go tag you for. I go tag you about the election and thing, right? So anyhow, let me vibes a little bit. So people follow Odessa Primus on Facebook. I'm gonna she has like almost 100,000 followers on Facebook. She is. I don't think she wanted to be a politician, but I think like me, she kind of got flung into like kind of like this kind of a category of like truth telling. So it's like the world look up to Guyanese people around the world look up to her, right? So. How you feel about the election first? Let me talk about that.
Well, I have a number of feelings as it relates to the elections. First of all, I am of the firm belief that the elections were not free and fair. There are a number of irregularities as it relates to the elections. Before being this intricately involved in the process, you'd hear people say stuff like that and you think, whatever. That's probably the narrative that suits you, or, like, why can't you prove that this is the case? It seems to make no sense. And I remember the lives of the two major political parties, I felt like they were playing on people's emotions, and it was really upsetting for me because I don't know they had an election.
Are you driving? Because you're breaking up just a little bit. Are you driving?
I am.
Okay, go on. Okay.
Well, I'm not driving. I'm in a car.
Okay.
But I was saying that, I was disappointed in the last general elections that we had because the results took about 6 months before we could swear in a president, and that is wholly unfortunate. And so, with these elections, we have done nothing different in terms of ensuring that the process is fair. In terms of a clean voters list, there's no provisions at all or consideration, at least that we, the general public, are made aware of as it relates to moving towards biometrics and these sorts of things. We are basically using a draconian system that people figured out a way around, obviously, because we're using it forever. Knowing Guyanese, and by extension, Caribbean people, we could find a way around something if we're doing it long enough.
Right.
And so that has been the case. And so I feel like it don't matter how the elections go, because Guyanese don't trust the system. It is difficult for you to feel comfortable with the results coming out of a system that you don't trust. So, here we are after having had an election. I look at Jamaica, for example. They had their elections a couple of days after us, and by the next morning, they knew who the next president was going to be. We, however, have less people contesting, voting in these elections, and we are waiting days to even get something close to what the results would look like. And that in itself, for me, says that some skullduggery is afoot, because why you can't tabulate less than 500,000 votes? What the hell are you adding?
Right. So somebody said, Babbzy, we still use pencil to X out we vote. What?
Man, why that person had to say that? You don't say these things out loud about us. We sound as though we're ancient creatures in this place.
Wait, hold on, Odessa. Tell me the truth. Wanna still using pencil and eraser and thing? For true?
Oh, babe, just make provisions for a little lie now. Oh my God, I don't want to tell the truth. that
Oh,
makes us sound as though, we talk about being the fastest growing economy, and it seems as though the economy is growing faster than our ability to advance. And so I can't even find an excuse to give to say, oh, we're using pencil because of this. There's no excuse for this. This is ridiculous behavior. And then, you have videos surfacing of people erasing things. I mean, by all means, erase the damn vote, because why are you writing it in pencil in the first place?
wow. Wow. What we're really going on about there for true that you want to still using pencil and thing for election?
Yes. I know it's a sad mess. Some days I want to say that I'm from somewhere else, because, I mean, why?
So what is your role now? Because everywhere I turn, your name coming up. Everybody's like, Babbzy, you need to talk to Odessa. What is what?
Who are these people that you communicating with that telling you that you should speak with me?
Girl, it's your name, and another name that did be coming up is a name named Melly Mel, but your name does come up number one. Everybody is like, you need to talk to Odessa.
Well, Melly and I are very good friends. She is Guyanese, but she resides in the U.S. She has been there for a good minute.
Add she on the call here. Then bring she on WhatsApp there.
How are you gonna make me shock the life out of this child? Okay.
Yeah, to bring sheep on here, man. Let we talk, man. We talking, I know a little bit about Guyana, I take 5 days to go to Linden already, so bring she there, man. Let we talk, man.
Well, where exactly did you drive to go to Linden? It took you 5 days.
Well, the people that come and tell me that they're gonna take me to Linden, all of a sudden the car break down here, the car break down, cheese on, Paula gone and left in. You understand?
That man was trying to spend time with you, and no damn
I know.
5 days.
I just talking nonsense, man. I just talking nonsense. Don't mind me. You can't really take on me, And big up Nigel's supermarket. I heard they closed down, but Nigel's I buy a Haagen-Dazs ice cream from Nigel's supermarket for $2,500 Guyanese dollars, boy. When you don't want ice cream, you don't want ice cream.
I am very sorry. So Melly, you're on the call.
Melly Mel.
You're on the call. We're live on Facebook.
Melly Mel.
Wait, with who? So I know how to talk, as you know me mouth.
Babbzy. It's Babbzy.
Oh, sorry. Good night.
Melly Mel, what going on, girl?
Hi, Babbzy. Good night.
We talking about the corruption here in Guyana with the election and things. So just mute yourself a little bit there. Odessa, let me hear Melly Mel for a sec. Melly, you to talk to me about the election and how you feel. Hey, hold on a second. Drop a like on my video, cause I got Melly and Odessa about here, So one of Guyanese people can't tell me I don't represent for one, I got the two biggest in Guyana about here together. You understand? The three of we. So drop a like there. Talk. Let me hear you, Melly Mel, sweet girl. Talk there,
As it relates to election, where exactly do you want us to start? Where exactly do you want me to start?
The allegations of corruption.
There's certain things that I can say that Odessa will not be able to say, because first of all, I don't know if she explained to you, but she's not able to say certain things in Guyana because, unfortunately, for those living in Guyana, they weaponize the Cybercrime Act. So anything she says that doesn't please or critique our current president and his administration, they can arrest her and charge her for cybercrime.
Okay.
So I wasn't watching the program, so I'm not sure what is it she covered. Well, definitely the election wasn't free and fair. I'm not sure how much she covered, but
I'll tell you what I said. So I talked about the fact that they're making allegations that, there have been Venezuelans that voted in this election because biometrics are not being used, as well as using the identities of deceased people, just coming and casting their vote, et cetera, because there's no real way of tracking the individuals who voted and, if they're eligible for voting and if they meet the voting criteria, et cetera.
Okay, so yes, Babbzy. So let me touch on that. It wasn't only Venezuelans that voted in our elections. We had Brazilian votings. We had people from India voting, people from Bangladesh voting, and we had Commonwealth people voting, because what they do is that they recently amended the law. So as if you're a Commonwealth nation and you're living within the country within a year, then you get to vote in our upcoming election. I know, ironic, right? I've never heard of anything like this any part of the.
So repeat that again. So if you're from Britain and what though? What's it again?
If you're from the Commonwealth,
okay,
and you're living in our country for a year or more, you're allowed to vote. They were allowed to vote in this upcoming election. Unfortunately, we have no system in place, so we don't know how many people from the Commonwealth was allowed to vote. We can't give you a number of people from the Commonwealth that was living in our country for a year or more that was allowed to vote.
Okay.
So we don't know that. So like I said,
if I could say something before you continue, though, there's also no way of determining if those persons actually lived in the country for a year, because those ID cards are handed out by GCOM. And it is the belief of the people that GCOM is controlled to some extent, to a great extent, by the government. And of course, there's one other grouping of people that Melissa failed to mention, which is the dead voters. So there's no election in Guyana if dead people don't get to vote. Talk about respecting the dead, eh?
Wow.
Apart from the dead voters, let's talk about the proxy vote as well. That is where one person can vote for two persons or more. So we had a lot of proxy vote going on, especially in those far off regions where it wasn't a lot of observers observing what was happening there. So we had a lot of proxy vote.
Right.
That's another way that the election. So Babbzy, the election was anything far from free and fair.
Okay.
It was a mess. First of all, GCOM wasn't prepared for the election, even though, however, they insist on going ahead with this elections, even leading up to this election. Mm-hmm. What GCOM also did was GCOM kept changing all these rules, all these voting rules. Leading up to the election, it was clear that they were putting everything in place to rig the election. It's clear that they were putting everything in place for the PPP. Like, there's no separating GCOM from the PPP, which is the current, it is our government again. So there's no separating. GCOM is PPP. They work for the government. So I know it's supposed to be an independence body, but unfortunately for us in Guyana, that's not how it works.
Okay.
The police force, the courts, the appeal court, everything is controlled. All those companies and those bodies that is supposed to be independent of the government, unfortunately, works with the government. And that is because they have strategically placed everybody that is affiliated with their party in those key positions. Just weeks before the election, they would have removed the acting chief justice to put somebody in place that is affiliated with their party. So as to if any of the other parties, the small parties or the opposition, decides that they want to take all these irregularities that was happening in the election, if they want to take it to court, then the Chief Justice is sitting there right at the court that is affiliated with the PPP to make the ruling. So no ruling will ever come in the opposition favor. Apart from that, too, the judges in the appeal court. So let's say even if they go to the Chief Justice and he made a ruling and in the ruling party favor and the opposition wanted to object and take it to the appeal court, the 5 judges sitting on the appeal court belongs to the PPP. Okay. 3 of them, or 4 out of the 5, is affiliated with the PPP. So these people had everything in place, put everything in place. They covered all angles. They covered the courts, and then if for some reason Guyanese decided that they wanted to go out and protest because the election wasn't free and fair, the police and the soldiers had orders to shoot to kill.
Oh, so my God.
So they would have killed our young brothers and sisters. So I see a lot of Guyanese online were saying, why is it the Win? Why is it the opposition and the Win party and all of y'all don't tell these people to come out their house and go and protest? A lot of people writing to me and saying, Melly Mel, as an activist, why you don't tell these people come out and protest? But it will be very irresponsible of me, Babbzy,
Yeah, of course.
knowing it will be very irresponsible of me, knowing that the police and the soldiers have orders to shoot to kill, to
Wow.
send my brothers and sisters out there to protest in those streets. I will be sending them to their death because I know what the people already informed the soldiers, the police, all of them. Shoot any protest, shoot to kill. Why would I come out on the internet and use my platform to send these people to their death?
No, you can't do that.
It would have been very, very irresponsible of me. So, Babbzy, the election was anything but free and fair. We have been asking for biometric voting for the last 5 years. The last elections, all the international observers, they came in, they said, you know what, these are things that you all need to put in place. Not one of those suggestions that these international observers, whereas the Carter Centers, the Commonwealth, CARICOM, and all these international bodies suggested was put in place 5 years on the next election, and these things wasn't put in place, and that is because they do not want to implement these things, because then we will have free and fair election.
Right.
And because they're accustomed to rigging the election every 5 years, they don't want these things in place. In 2025, we are still voting with pencil.
Yeah.
And Babbzy, let me tell you how they were able to rig this election, because because I was sitting trying to figure out how did they do this, and we can't, because the opposition would have asked for a recount, but somebody close to the party was explaining to me the recount wouldn't show how they rigged the election, because what they did, they started rigging the election. These guys, they were giving us cash grant a couple of months ago. $100,000 cash grant was given to every citizen 18 and over. There was a reason why they gave that cash grant to every citizens 18 and over. They wanted access to that database. They wanted access to everybody in Guyana that was eligible to vote. So normally what happens in our country, when you register to vote, wherever you vote the first time, that is where you normally go and vote, Babbzy. So
right.
Babbzy, let me just say. So let me say if I register, because my husband is Badian, so I know a little about Barbados. So let me say, Babbzy, I register in St. Phillips to vote, right? If I register in St. Phillips to vote, then I have to go back in St. Phillips to vote. But when they gave out the cash grant, obviously people would have moved and stuff. So when they were giving out the cash grant, people were using their current address. So let's say you registered to vote in St. Phillips, but you would have moved and you're now living in Christchurch.
Right.
So good. So
hear you. You know the place good. Talk, girl, talk. Holla.
Yes, right. But however, you register to vote in St. Philip. Normally what you do is you drive from Christchurch to St. Philip and you go and vote in St. Philip, because that's where you register. However, with the cash grant now, you have to put the address that you are living at. So if your current address is in Christchurch, then you put Christchurch. So what they were doing now, so when people show up in St. Philip to vote, their names wasn't on the list in St. Philip. And people was like, but wait a minute, last election I voted in St. Philip. This is what happens for years since we've been voting. This is how we vote. When they find out their name is in Christchurch to vote at the address, because they used that address for the cash grant. So what they did is they used everybody. They were calling people all day. So all those persons that didn't vote in those individual communities, they voted for them.
Oh.
Because they had access, yes, because they had access to that data. So doing a recount wouldn't show that. The only way for it to show how they rigged the elections is if I decide, Babbzy, that I'm going to go to St. Phillips and walk house to house and find out from every single body who voted and who didn't voted. Then when I get that number, I take the number on the GCOM website and I look at the difference, and then I'll be able to tell, well, you know what, the people voted for 50 people from St. Philip, because these 50 people confirmed that they didn't vote, but they get 50 more vote in this community. That's the only way you're going to see it. Asking for a recount is not going to show that. And Babbzy, picture this, they would have done this in every single village and region. So that is how they were able to rig the elections. So in order for us to see how they rigged the elections, a forensic audit they will need to have on forensic. They're not going to allow it, Babbzy. You know what they're going to say? Oh, take it to election petition. We are still waiting on the last election petition.
Right.
It takes years and years and years, and they tie it up in court. Meanwhile, they run the country. So it's another 5 years of corruption, Babbzy. It's another 5 years of victimization. It's another 5 years of extrajudicial killing. It's another 5 years of the rich being the richest. Imagine being the fastest growing economy, and children in your countries is going to bed hungry.
Yeah.
Imagine being the richest, the fastest growing economy.
Right.
Babbzy.
Right.
You understand? And children don't have proper schools. The healthcare system is a mess. They rush to open so many hospitals when they haven't even fixed the ones existing. Now they open so many hospital, they stretch the nurses and the doctors so thin. They're moving them around from different hospital to this hospital. One doctor working at an entire hospital just because they wanted to say, oh, we opened 5 and 6 and 10 new hospitals before the election, but no doctors, no nurses there. And
Right.
they don't want, imagine not wanting to pay your nurses, your doctors, your teachers a fair salary, a livable salary. But you are bringing teachers and you're bringing nurses and doctors from India.
Wow.
And Bangladesh to your country. You're providing them with free transportation. You're providing them with place to live. You're paying their bills. Plus, you're paying them more than what you're paying your nurses and your doctor. Babbzy, I've never seen anything in any part of the Caribbean. This could never happen in Barbados. Mia would never.
No.
But I just want to jump in and say this is Odessa and I'm still here because
Yes, come Odessa. Yeah, we hear you.
No, but let's come attack for the whole country. Let's just feel it.
I know.
I have it to the government.
Well, you want to see the comments? The comments going crazy. They're like, yes, Auntie Mel here. She reached this, that. We love you, Mel. We love you, baby. Somebody named Silo Gaspar said they love you. Dylan Ned said, Babbzy, Auntie Melly Mel is our voice because we can't talk. Like, so, girl, the two of you, you make me real tonight, boy. You make me real in the Guyanese place tonight, boy. Let me tell you.
Babbzy, let me just. Odessa, you want that? Let Odessa
I noticed Melissa left out something additionally, right? You see, what happened is the government was quick to say, yes, we're okay with the recount. Because what you are basically doing is, let me explain what the recount is. When you open the box, you just got to say what you see in the box. So, obviously, whatever is in there is all that you're going to see. You don't have a document to fact check what you're seeing in the box to say that they have given you the other statutory documents. So you could see how many people had to vote there, how many people voted there, and so on. You don't have that. So you're not putting that against something else. If you open a bag and you see an apple, obviously you're going to say it's an apple. You can't say it is an apple that Jane put in there. You can't say whomever it is that is responsible, or even if an apple's supposed to be in there. Suppose now it was supposed to be a banana. And so that is the position that they have taken. But additionally, as Melissa was explaining about the cash grant, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is with the cash grant, not everybody, it's not an automatic because you're 18. You have to sign up for it. And so what they did in that signing up process is that you had to take your ID, and they took all of your ID information and whatever, and they also made you take photos again. Mm-hmm. And that sent some confusion for me, because if my photos on my ID, why do you need to take another ID picture of me? Why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. And that is what made the process a lot easier, because these guys were able to get everything for you. Additionally, what they did was use that information from, and this is government information, this is not PPP or any other political party information. Mm-hmm. They use that government information that they would have collected and proceed to call people during the elections process to tell them, oh, you received your cash grant. How are things going? Well, you should vote for the PPP basically because they look out for you. First of all, it's government money. It's not PPP money. And why are you calling me? What is going on?
Right.
You see, people like me, I could not have received the call because I never signed up. So even though I have the age requirement, I have never signed up for the cash grant. So I couldn't receive a call because they don't have my information in the system.
Right.
And so, that in itself is illegal, and the government could be taken to court for that. When the vice president was asked, he said, "Oh, we got it from a number of different sources." What goddamn sources you got it from? Why can't you tell us what are the sources that you got this information from? That is my personal information to use to reach out to me to tell me, "Oh, I see you received the cash grant and so on. Well, have you voted for the government?" As if you're indebted to the government for them giving you your money. That is the level of foolishness that we have to put up with in this place.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that the second you open your mouth to say something, victimization left, right, and center. You have to be in fear for your life down in this place here, because somebody might take what you say and they offended you, offend somebody in government, and you got to sleep with one eye open because somebody might be coming for you, they might be coming for your family. This is utter hell. Democracy does not exist in this country. The people they're not free. They're not free to say how they feel. There are people who have come out wearing the party colors and having their party memorabilia and whatever it is on them, because they are afraid. You can't live in this place if you seem to be in any way, shape, or form anti-government or against a particular thing. So you might be a supporter of the government, but you don't like something they say or do. Then you gotta watch your mouth. You can't speak about it because these guys so much up in the feelings that you got to be worried about what that may mean for you. If it may mean you losing your job. Now the elections are done. At least try to be responsible as a government. No, these guys jump out already. We're not prepared to work with the win candidate, the win party, which is now the main opposition party. We're not prepared for this. We're going to be coming after social media influencers because they're spreading lies and propaganda. There's nobody in this entire country who spreads more lies and propaganda than the PBP government. And they continue to do it. And as long as they're doing it, it's okay. But anybody come out and just add a little salt to any story, war break out here. You don't even got to add nothing. You speak the truth. And even that, even though they know that this is what it is, you will be victimized for it, your family victimized for it. It is woefully, woefully unfortunate what we're going through here in this country. And it's sad that even with the international community seeing what is happening, nobody can do anything, can intervene in any way or shape or form to help anybody down here. I don't know. I feel like when we die, we're just going to go to heaven as Guyanese because we living in hell here.
Oh God!
This is hell that we living in.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that, man.
I'm telling you, it is terrible.
You have me feeling
a lot
bad,
of
man.
these people gotta kiss ass, Babs. They gotta kiss ass down here so to get by. And there's the reality of it.
Where's Mosley? Where's Gordon Mosley? Wanna know where Gordon? Where's Muhammad? I want Muhammad calling.
There's one person. Muhammad got victimization so much right now. I do not even know, because if you come out and you say,
Get Muhammad. Tell Muhammad call me. Tell Muhammad call me. Someone.
As it is for me, I just want to explain how I literally became Melly Mel and this person because Guyanese face so much. Because Guyanese face so much victimization, people use my they ask to use my platform.
Mute the phone, Odessa, because you have the wind blowing. Mute.
They asked to use. I have a large following. Unfortunately, they had that page pulled down, Babbzy. They hire people from India, from this, they had the page pulled down. I started a new page. So what people do is they reach out to my platform and they complain about things that are happening in these ministries that are happening to them if they need help. Because, Babbzy, only when you shame this government, that is when. Babbzy, let me just give you an example. Somebody get raped today. They run into the station back and forth for 3 months. The police get them, go, come back. They're not arresting the person who raped them because the person might be rich, might got money, might get connection. They're arresting them. Babbzy, they literally have to come into my inbox now. Tell me the story. Have me post the story for the world to see. When it is shared 200 and 300 times and everybody start to call them out and pressure them to do something, that is when the government actually do something.
You're right.
That is how my platform is used for Guyanese. I have to hide their identity. I have to post their complaints, and that is when they look into it, or they look into the problem or the issue.
Yeah.
And that is sad that and that is sad that an entire country has to live like that. And it's even sad because I'm only one individual, and there's only so much that I can do. Babbzy and I've been fighting for the last 10 years. I am tired. I don't know. Now everybody's saying, well, who they're going to turn to because they're not allowed to speak. They're not allowed to speak. They victimize your entire family, Babbzy, your entire family. It reached a point where they started victimizing people that is associated with me. So my friends and any far off cousin or anything I get living in Guyana can't even let them know that they're related to me. It is that bad.
Wow. But yeah, so I got a lot of people messaging me on my, but they're afraid. They're like, please don't say anything about me. Please don't call my name.
Babbzy, they will. Babbzy, they will message you. They will complain. They will
Yeah,
tell you
they're afraid though. Like,
but
even
they're afraid. They will tell you what is happening, but they're afraid to say it, to come out for the government to know who's saying it.
Where's Gordon Mosley? Where's Muhammad? Tell Muhammad I want to talk to Muhammad. I want Muhammad call in here. He must, somebody message or Addy on this call here. Bring Muhammad and bring Gordon on this call here, man. Cause I got Gordon on my next phone. Bring. Let's check the numbers. We got 463 people on Facebook right now watching. So I don't know what that works out to be over on YouTube and Instagram, but Facebook, everybody seems to be packed up over there. We're almost at 500 people on Facebook watching right now. Yeah, this is the situation. A lot of people had messaged me while they go looking for Gordon and Muhammad. Muhammad, call up here, boy. We want to talk to you, man. Call up here, Muhammad. Call up here.
I'm trying to add Gordon.
Yeah, you add Gordon. Add Gordon there. Someone said Gordon will never show. You mad? Gordon gonna come up here? Bet you Gordon mostly come up here.
Once he's not sleeping, he's in bed by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. old drag down man. Like Gordon mostly can come up here, man.
He can come on once he up. I just let me add.
Yeah, somebody go and get Muhammad. Go get T Muhammad. Tell T Muhammad bring he tail here, man. That's my boy. I like he. They fighting he for crown and thing and whatever the crown is. Bring Muhammad here, man. Tag Muhammad there.
He in a meeting though.
Who that, Gordon?
No, Muhammad.
Tell Muhammad I want to talk to him. Tell Muhammad.
Well, Odessa will know, but I wouldn't. But
where Gordon? Where's Gordon? They said
Gordon is definitely not answering. Let me see.
Gordon is a big man. Gordon must be done sleeping how long?
I told her once he's not.
The people in the chat said there's no way Gordon will come on. There's no way he will come on. Man,
No. He would.
No, me and Gordon good. Years now. Trust me, Gordon will come on. They say no, he too scared. Team Muhammad, Hannah. Bring somebody from Team Muhammad here to come up here. I want somebody from the Muhammad team, man.
But I am from the Muhammad team, Babbzy.
No, I know. That's what I mean by one of these people like you and another person come up here. That's what I mean. I'm talking to people in the chat. Tell Muhammad come.
I know that they have a meeting because I just left.
Oh, okay.
So I know that they're in a meeting for sure.
Message Muhammad and tell Muhammad Babbzy want to talk to him, man. Cause this thing got me offset here now. This thing got me offset. So what we gonna do, Melly? What we gonna do? How we gonna fix this? Cause like
Babbzy, there ain't no fixing. Babbzy, how you fighting a government with a government with endless resources, oil money that has a reach till here in the US, till the planning on they're trying to sue me and Sam and me, take me to court, all kind of thing. While I'm here in the US. The government of Guyana.
They wanna take you to court?
Babbzy, I have lawsuits up to Babbzy, you know what's going on. Babbzy, lawsuit after lawsuit, cybercrime. Who's defamation, everything.
Who's suing you?
The Attorney General of the country, Anil Nandalal, ministers in government.
Every single one of the PVP and the model.
Hold on. Who's the attorney? Who's the Attorney General? Who's the Attorney General?
Anil Nandalal.
Say the name slow again. What's the name?
Anil, A-N-I-L.
Anil Yeah.
Nandalal. Yes, that is him.
Anil Nandalal. Hold on, let me look in the
That
camera.
is it.
Hold
Anil
on.
Nandalal.
You hold on there,
All
Melly.
Neil and Nandalal.
Anil Nandalal, whatever your name is there. Right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, right? Take down this case against Melly Melka. I want to tell you something. We can put up a GoFundMe. And if you want, we bring in heavyweight lawyer from America and fuck up you,
Babbzy, let me
right?
just say this.
Hold on,
The
wait. Let me
president of the
talk. Let me
country-
talk. Let me talk. I ain't done cussing yet. We can fuck up you, right? Anil Nandalal or Landalal or whatever your name is, Land or Nan. Was it there? I will put up a GoFundMe for Melly Mel, and we will fuck up
Babbzy,
you.
But Babbzy, not only that, the president just sent me a cease, and his mother just sent me a cease and desist because an interview was recently out there, and one of their business partner and associate, there's an interview with a journalist, Travis Chase, and he related how the corruption works and how they give these bribe money and the drawback. Apparently, the president mother is the one who collects his money from these backhand corruption and these backhand dealing. Mind you, this came out of the mouth of somebody that is affiliated with them, the PPP affiliation. He did an interview and he said this. So I said, wait a minute, it's an entire family of crime. It's a gangster family, it's a criminal family. Gangster granny don't play about your money because the man related is that if they don't pay Irfan mother, who's the president, this drawback, this 5% or this 35 million, then it's big problems because she just be calling the phone. She want this 5% that they're supposed to give her from these billion-dollar contracts and all these things that her son is giving to them. So because I would have related to them as the gangster family and called her gangster granny, he's upset and he's demanding I apologize and ceased from referring to him or calling her or anything as it relates to gangster granny and all of that. And if I don't do that within 7 days, then I will find myself in court. Babbzy, these people ain't easy.
Listen, I didn't even know half of this was going on in Guyana right now. This got me shocked. I hear shocked that in 2025, people talking about cease and desist.
It really is unbelievable. You tell people any part of the world that's actually living in a democracy, and they won't believe that these things are happening. And you have nowhere to turn, Babbzy. You have nobody to help you, and Babbzy. I promise you, when you come off this call, you will see how much people from Guyana. You check your inbox, Babbzy.
No, it ringing all now.
People from Guyana will reach out to you about so much things that is happening because they can't talk about it.
Wow.
They're looking for a voice. They're looking for anybody that could say something to help them.
Yeah, I realized that like from the last 3-4 days, especially since I was just like, oh yeah, the election in Guyana, blah, blah, blah. My inbox is flooded. People are like, this is what's going on. That's what's going on. People are like, please don't call my name. Don't call my name. I don't want this. I don't want that. So I'm like saying to myself like, but what really going down there in Guyana that everybody's so afraid to talk?
They can't talk. And they have to live in a country they can't talk. It's not unfortunately for them, it's not they could fly and go to another country and live. They can't speak. They can't say anything against this government. They can't, not even against the government. It is so bad. They can't even say anything. It's like the elites. You can't say anything against the rich.
Right.
Because obviously they're connected to the government. So poor people have no justice. There's no justice for poor people. Only the rich just get justice. You can't even say anything and somebody get a big buy number in the phone. You can't even talk to them too hard. And they calling somebody.
Not all the rich is benefit. The rich minus Muhammad.
Minus Muhammad.
In a category, you know what I'm saying?
He in the victimization category.
He running for government. And everybody who jumps out and puts their name on the list to say, you know what, I'm supporting this guy, I'd like to be part of this party. The banks and all of us are letter to tell us they're closing our accounts. The likes of Scotia Bank and Citizens Bank.
The bank closing accounts?
All the other local banks, closed our accounts and told us that we were going to get a bank draft with whatever money's on the account. Those people who had outstanding loans through the bank, they were given a month 1 month to pay whatever the loan is that they would have taken out with those banks. People's lives and livelihood became threatened because very many people are paid through the bank who are in the public sector. And so those people now have no way of receiving their monies. People are wholly victimized and pressured into subjection as it relates to sticking with the government and whatever it is that they're doing. Because as mentioned earlier, the government controls every arm in this country. And so there can never be justice in a place where every single system is controlled by the government. This the mess that we in, and now elections are over. Victimization again. Those people who were campaigning have started to lose their jobs, and even some of the landlords have started putting tenants out, and all of these sorts of things, just because they exercise their democratic rights to vote to support whoever party they choose. So, as I would have mentioned earlier, democracy is dead in this country. There is no democracy. The government could come out here and they could say as much as they'd like. You have very many overseas Guyanese who, many of them just come home here for 2 days or a week or whatever, and they on the internet talking foolishness. Life is good in Guyana, and you people are ungrateful. We have roads and bridges and this and that. People punishing in this asshole place. If you think things going so good, in this country, come back home. Left America. On Facebook posting, y'all got it easy. I just got to go out in the snow and work all hours, and y'all got it easy. If you know we got it easy, come home. You come home and enjoy the easy life like us. You understand? You got to go and get your passport. You got to up and down the passport. This morning they can get it the same damn day. Why y'all got me waiting weeks and all sorts of madness to collect something? Everything you got to pass some money in this country. Everything. It don't matter if it's legal or not. You got to be doing underhand business while you're going to conduct a legal transaction.
Right.
Any form of documentation you want, they have made the system in. So instead of going through the frustration, many people choose to skip the stress and pay a little money some way. So you always got to have a little backhand money in the corner because you can't survive here.
Right.
Everything is about paying a bribe. It's a disaster. You understand me? But Guyanese now, because we have been living in this system for so long, some people found a way to make themselves comfortable in a very uncomfortable situation. So it's not that they're not cognizant that it's a terrible situation, They are. But in order to maintain your sanity, you just act like this is all right, this is normal, we're going to get through this, and so on, and you just go through life. So it's more or less of a survivability tactic to get through. And this is a sad place to be. If anything else, I'm concerned about what mental health looks like in this country. Because we are living in constant frustration. You have to fight every single day of your life. And not fighting, meaning coming under subjection to whatever madness that these people are pushing. We got black people in this country who jumping up after this minister, the same Anil that got Melissa in court, after he jumped up and say that one of our
Coffee was a proud house slave
who would have fought in the slave rebellion. The man said the man was a proud house slave. There's nothing wrong with being a proud house slave. What is a proud house? What is a proud slave?
Wow.
You pass people, and then you have black people come out and say, yes, I'm a proud house slave. It's okay to be a... What is wrong with you?
Wow.
What is your mental issue? But they are so broken into subjection.
Yeah, it's true.
That they feel as though, you know what, I have to be okay with this in order to survive. And that is a sad state of affairs, where now it has become a selfish position, where you have people supporting the government, not because the government is doing a fantastic job, but because they have no other way of getting by. And so when Muhammad came out, you had this foolish girl in the US who came out and she said, Odessa and Melissa are the two black people who came out here and was supporting this coolie man, as she put it, for president. As if, first of all, that in itself is racism. Because if a good leader is not necessarily a leader that looks like me or doesn't look like me. If you have a good leader, if you have somebody who has the best interests of the people heart, that is what matters most. Not the texture of the person, the color, the person's skin, or
Right.
the texture of the hair.
Right.
That's nonsense.
Cause they bringing that, they even bringing this thing to me. They're like, "Oh, cause you black," and I said, "Hold on a second, let me tell one of something." That's why I talked earlier in my life. I said, "I live in Canada. This black and Indian thing, I don't know about this black and Indian thing, and I come from Barbados, and then in a black and Indian thing in no Barbados. Don't even try and bring me in that there." But hold on before you talk. I want to say something. Watch your mouth in this chat. You know, anybody disrespecting Odessa and Melly Mel in the chat, I can fuck up you. And watch what you say about Mia Motley. Mia Motley ain't got nothing to do with this. You stop your cunt. Don't come in my place here with your dirty, nasty ways. Go up on somebody else's page and disrespect people. Melly Mel and Odessa come here impromptu because I asked them to. They're my guests. You must have respect over in my place. I don't know how you just get on in your fucking place, but in my Rasso place, you got to have respect. Watch what you say about people over here in this chat. Do not disrespect and talk about nobody looks and people sour and these things. Watch your fucking self. That's not that's not this type of platform here. We having a serious conversation tonight. This is not no hokey pokey jokey talk thing. There's not no frolicking up at Pegasus talk, right? We're talking about the election. So if you can level up, level out. You hear what I tell you? All right, carry on there, Melly.
Yeah, as I was saying, Babbzy, what was she talking about before? She was talking about, I'll lose my chain of thoughts. I was about to say something. I was about to add something to what she was saying about what she was talking about, people being victimized.
Yes.
What was I about to say? Something I was gonna make a point to let you know that I forgot. Go ahead. When I remember.
But as Melissa gather her thoughts, though, the elections are concluded. And if there is one thing I can say, that the PPP government stands to be the most irresponsible government that I have known of in my entire life. Now, elections are concluded. You might be, as a party, you represent your party people. As a government, you represent the people of the country, not just the people who voted for you, but all Guyanese. And now these people have a health training. They put out a nice little flyer going around saying that they're going to have health training in these specific regions. Now, the only two regions that were not included on that list for this health training is the two regions that were won by Azadin Mohammed and the Win Party. Those two regions, no health training. What is wrong with these people? You have people in those regions, and that's why I don't even understand why people even support these people. Because you could imagine me sitting in Region 10 or Region 7, having supported the government, and they exclude my entire region from this training. This doesn't only affect the majority who voted for another party, but it affects the entire region. That is the level of stupidity that we have to contend with in this country as it relates to this government and victimization. Because it is, in very many cases, it is not one person that suffers, it is an entire body. And in this case, an entire two regions that suffers because, you know what, the majority said, we don't want y'all.
Right.
And that is what we have to do. No matter what you do, it don't matter what you say or how you feel, at the end of the day, if the government don't feel as though you for them, you are not going to benefit. And they're going to come with some stupid jackass reasoning that says, oh, but we built roads. Don't you drive on the roads? No, I drive in space. Don't come and ask me foolishness. Because I am also not benefiting from a proper healthcare system in this country. Don't I get picked? Yes, I do. I am also not benefiting from a series of other things, including an education system that caters effectively to my children. So now I got to find money to send your children to a private school, and because unless your child, after finishing nursery and primary, gets into one of the top secondary schools, which thank God my son got into, so now I don't have to pay fees for him, but I still got to pay for my daughter.
Big brains.
That's what I'm saying. He made it to the top 1%. Very proud mother here. Just want to say that my son is going to be very embarrassed, but I just got to throw it at him. And so I want to say that we have got to do better. I look at, you know what, I could be a selfish person and say, you know what, my son is at the highest secondary school in this country. He has access to a number of sporting activities, a number of extracurricular activities in general, in terms of debating and everything. But what about the other schools? schools? Why can't children at other schools have the same kind of access?
Right.
Why can't they participate in the same amount of extracurricular activities? They don't even have access to the same number of subjects
Wow.
that are being offered at those schools. And I'm saying that this is wholly unfortunate that these people, Guyanese, I think in very many cases, have become so tired of fighting that many of them have given up. You know, like we can't win. And I understand the frustration. I will never be that person because I believe that I was blessed with enough fight for an eternity. And I will fight until I have breath no more because I am not the kind of person who will just lie down and roll over in as much as the people might be saying are wrong and so on. I am not the rolling type.
Right.
I will not be rolling over for not a single solitary soul because I believe that as a human being, you should come with some degree of integrity. You should stand for something and you should not back down regardless of if the majority agrees with you or not.
Right. So I'm gonna see what we can do over here and how we can get involved and help because I don't like how this is sounding. Like whenever I hear people talk about Guyana, nobody tells the truth. They always be like, "Oh, yo, we got oil and we money coming and we this and we that and
Babbzy,
and
Babbzy.
so I always thought everything over there nice and going well and thing because whenever you talk to a Guyanese person, that's all they would tell you about. They're telling you about, yeah, we have oil now, we go be rich and whatever.
Babbzy, let me tell you, Babbzy, not only that, let me tell you, since you touched on that oil and gas, let me touch on that oil and gas thing for you. Imagine we have oil, right? We have workers in Guyana that is working on these oil rigs. These people, these foreign companies that come into this country, first of all, ExxonMobil have all these sub-companies, sub-oil and gas companies, because they don't want to take on any responsibility or any risk as it relates to workers and insurance and all of that.
Right.
So they have all these sub-companies and they would pay them to hire Guyanese to work for them.
Okay.
These companies are coming into our countries. They're setting up shop. Most of them are from Trinidad and Tobago because, of course, some of them from Trinidad and Tobago, they would have experience in the oil and gas sector. So a lot of them are coming from Trinidad. They're setting up these companies. They're hiring Guyanese and then they're sending them to work on these oil rigs. They are bringing foreigners from every other country. Guyanese are the lowest paying oil and gas workers.
Right.
Imagine if your country, the oil is you on, and you are being paid
The least.
lowest, the least. While we have people coming from England and America and Europe and all these countries that are being paid double and triple times the money that you're being paid for doing the same job that you're doing,
Right.
if not more.
Right.
If not Guyanese have 2 and 3 responsibilities on these oil rig. While a white man just walk around and say, do this, do that, fix that, and he's getting 3 times and triple times the amount of money, and the government is not doing anything about it.
Wow.
It's not just the oil rig, it's the Chinese too, that putting small businesses out of business. Every single little village, little shop is 5 and 6 supermarket. So the little corner shop where you go buy a little corn beef and your little thing from, they got closed down because the Chinese come in and take over the villages, take over the market, take over the supermarket.
Hold on, I'm trying to move you over. Hold on one sec. Say something there now, Odessa. Oh, it's me. Hold on. Let me check. All right.
As it relates to the Chinese, what I wanted to add is that we have zoning laws in this country. And in as much as we would like to blame the Chinese solely for this sits again at the feet of the government because they don't enforce the zoning laws. So you could have 100 Chinese businesses in one stretch because the government has allowed that to happen. So in as much as Guyanese get upset with the Chinese, they have to be even more upset with the Guyanese government, who is by no means or any stretch of the imagination representing the people of this country and the laws of this country. So they're the ones who big and slack and dirty with themselves that got us in this position that we are in. All of the these overseas companies that come into Guyana and conducting business in a way that
Breaking
is
all the
not,
labor laws.
in keeping with our laws and regulations. The government has to be responsible for that because they're the ones that allow them to conduct business here regardless.
Right, right, right.
And that is the reality. They are failing the people and have failed the people and continue to fail the people of this country because, in my humble opinion, the PPP government is nothing but a complete and utter failure.
Okay, one sec. Hold on one sec, guys, right? 1 second. Okay, let's try to get control over on the Facebook page. I know there's there's 800 people over there right now. If you want to be a moderator and help control this chat, please drop a wrench icon, please, so that I can add you. I just blocked the Alex Clark person, but I'm not going to be able to do all of that together.
Babbzy, they're gonna come on and they're gonna cuss us. They're gonna cuss me. They're gonna
No,
cuss
no,
this.
no, no,
They're
no,
gonna
no.
talk about
They
the
gotta
PPP.
control.
They can.
They can
Yeah.
disagree with you, but when they start talking certain thing, so if you are on the Facebook page and you want to help moderate the chat, please drop a wrench icon right now so I can add you. Okay. The Around Advocate broadcast. Exactly, the citizens are being controlled by the government. Okay, so they got people here. Most of it is support. My thing is the disrespect. I don't want anybody talking about people looks and people sour pokey and ropey pokey and like that. I ain't got no time with that, right?
That is exactly what they're gonna come on.
I
and
ain't got no
say.
time with I don't deal with that. Okay, so Sophia Jacob, I go in and give you a moderator. Hold on, let me see. If anybody knows if so, why this thing won't give me the thing? Hold on, ban. It won't let me give it to her. Jesus Christ, everybody drop in wrench. Hold on. What I want to do though, here's what I would really want to do. I want to pretty much have this conversation carry on again tomorrow. But what I would like to see if we can get whatchamacallit? I would like to see if we could get Muhammad here so we could kind of talk about what he was trying to change and things of that nature, because I feel like we do need to have this conversation, and I do feel
Babbzy,
like
we
this,
do.
and I do.
Babbzy,
Sorry, I just
don't
feel like
remember what I was going to say. You mentioned Mohammed, and I don't remember what I was going to say. Where Odessa said that somebody came out and said, "Me and Odessa as two black person, we supported." First of all, Babbzy, let me just say this. Odessa is my very, very good friend. She's like my sister.
Okay.
She was the campaign manager for Team Mohammed and Win. I have never come out publicly and endorsed any political party. At all that was contesting these elections. So for them to even say that I supported all the small parties, I asked people to vote for every other party. I tell them you could vote for Team Mohammed, you could vote for ALP, which is Simona Broom. She's a very, very good candidate too. You should have her in your program too. There's Amanza, you should have her on. And then there was Team Win. I was like, vote for any of these small party. I support y'all as long as y'all could vote for them, as long as you don't vote for the PP, because we need a change of government. We need other small parties in parliament representing the interests of the people. I was there for all these parties that was contesting the elections. I asked them to vote. I came out and I plead with people to vote with everybody else except the PPP. So I'm confused as to how me and Odessa put this. And you see, Babbzy, that in itself is, like Odessa says, is racism, because she is accustomed to growing up in a society, in the back in the day society, where they tell you it's Indian and black, and they keep pushing this narrative. In 2025, they're still pushing this narrative about Indian and black. So they have this thing that the PP is an Indian party and the APNU is a black party, and that's the narrative that they keep pushing all the time. I'm just wondering, when is this going to end? When are we going to see a black person that is in charge of the PPP? When will that ever happen? When are we going to see an Indian person that is in charge of the APNU or the PNC? When is that ever going to happen? And until that don't happen, then we are still divided by race, and we continue to let these politicians push this racism thing about PPP is an Indian party and PNC is a black party. Mind you, They're saying that we disregard this, and they're blaming us for breaking up the PNC because we supported these other small parties, and we said split the vote and all of that, mind you. But they ain't cussing the black ones that the PP calling proud house slaves,
Right.
and they endorsing them for calling them proud house slaves. They endorsing that same party. Babbzy, make it make sense.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, I'm glad I got you
No,
too.
but you know what? It's a little bit more than crazy, Babsy, because you know why? I mean, Melissa didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it regardless, because at the end of the day, there's nobody who and I don't care either way who like me, who don't like me, and all these types of foolishness. I don't have the time for that. You know what the truth is? The black leaders have failed the black people, and that is the reality of things, right? Lots of people were disgruntled. So at the end of the day, whether or not a leader rose up that is non-black or black, who seem to have the people's interest at heart, that is where people are going to go. Because people are tired of race politics, and they are looking for somebody who says, you know what, I have your best interest at heart. And that is what Mohammed did. That man came years now, not yesterday, not last week, not elections time. And he started building homes for people.
Right.
Now, he started starting businesses for people and all of these sorts of things. So there was a void, and what he did was fill that void, and people started saying you should run for government, and that talk started even before elections. The dates for you understand me? So it is not about just Odessa make Mohammed run, or try to destroy anything, or anything like that. There was a void, and that is the reality. People need to look at the fact that they have failed as leaders, and so that is why we are where we are.
Right. Understood. Totally. When I was in Guyana, the president was black. Samuel, what was his name? And
Sam
then
Hines,
yeah, and
Babbzy
then
stopped. He last 6 months
Oh, but
as
he
the
was never
president.
really a president,
and
really.
He
then
was never really a president.
and the minister of health was a man named Dr. Ramsamy. Is that what his name was?
Oh, that's the one.
Oh, you were here
That's the one
several
that helped
times.
kill
You
more
were
than
here
400
several
black
times.
youths. Babbzy, don't call his name.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Chaz, they're gonna bring up a whole lot of extraditional killing story.
Oh Lord of mercy. Well, this is kind of gotten the people riled up and everything. I see everybody really getting involved in this conversation and thing. Here's what I want to do. Can we come back tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and what time is it in Guyana right now? It's 9:45 where I am right now.
Yeah.
So I would like
Babsy,
to.
the same time here.
Okay.
I don't do it.
Okay. So what I would like
Babbzy,
is.
I'm free whenever. Just let me know. You just shoot me a text and I'll be there.
Okay, I'm gonna add you guys. I'm gonna put you in a group. We're gonna call it Save Guyana, right? I would love if we could get Mr. Muhammad up here. I know that might be difficult to do, but I would really, really, really like that, because this whole corruption and like voting thing, I don't like that. I would like fair elections. Like if you vote and this person won, then they won. But when when I hear about dead people votes getting used and these things, like this is madness. This is
Babbzy,
absolute.
it's happening.
Why can't even understand how pen and pen and paper, pencil and paper. What, pencil and paper? What we talking about in 2025? 2025, when I hold my iPhone up in my face is what open it and thing, and we using pencil and paper to vote in election and rubbing out X and thing. Like this just remind me of some old time thing, man. I don't like that, eh? I don't like how that sound.
It's crazy.
That sounds like some old time thing, and the people look very happy to hear from the both of you. They're surprised that I got you both together. But as Babbzy, I pull all the people, and I the lover out here. Don't mind, it's cuss stink and thing. So tomorrow, 7:30, I want to bring the both of you here, and bring as much artillery as you need. Whatever.
I will, Babbzy. So I'm available. So just shoot me a text, let me know. And I'll come on whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in. I
All right,
appreciate
thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.
Yes,
No
good night,
problem.
guys. Good night. So people,
night.
that was Melly Mel. Night. Who's out there now? Odessa?
Yes, love.
Okay,
Thank you
Odessa.
for having us. Good night.
Yes, so tomorrow 7:30 on the dot. Be ready. Have my pepper pot ready in your hand. Don't come with your too long hand. You hear what I tell you?
I got you.
Make
I
sure. All
got
right.
you.
All right.
Priority glasses.
All right. Good,
Bye.
sweetheart. All right. Cool. So listen. We are gonna have another segment tomorrow night for the Guyanese elections because it looks like we have to have a part two. Didn't expect it to blow up like this. Just kind of wanted people to have a place to talk and voice their opinions and stuff. My phone is going absolutely crazy with people adding from Guyana right now. It is insane. Also, I need to I need to get some people blocked on the page. So I'm going to need some of you to be moderators. If you really want to be a moderator, send a DM to my page on Facebook, Babbzy at Large. I will have to go through your profile and see what kind of person you are, because if you're crazy, I can't add you as a moderator. I just want to kind of control the disrespect towards the people on the panel. We don't do that here at all. That's not the place for that. People can disrespect me. I don't really care. But when I have guests on who are coming and taking time out of their day to speak.
Unknown caller.
I'm afraid to answer this. Hold on. Let me see what this is. Hello. Good night. Hold on. I can barely hear you. One sec. 1 second. 1 second, sweetie. 1 second. It's not coming through on the... Let me try and add you back again. 1 sec, okay? Give me a second. Okay, no problem. So, let's call this number back. Whoever just called, call right back, please. You're not coming up in the... I don't know why. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of missed calls, whole bunch of... Oh, the person's calling direct. That's why. Call on WhatsApp. The person that just called. Call on WhatsApp. Yeah. So what I need is I'm going to have to get some moderators, Guyanese moderators that know these people a bit, and whoever's on this political campaigning, blah, 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 blah. I need to get this under control. We do not disrespect people on the panel on this program whatsoever. That's not the page for this. Okay, let's see now. Let's try now. Hello? Let's try it now. Say something. Okay, I hear you now.
Me?
Yes, I hear you now, sweetie.
I just my niece just sent me the link. There was Facebook link with you and Melly Mel and Odessa.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting because I'm glad you guys are talking about it. I'm Guyanese as well.
Okay.
And I've been following the election. I know it was a rigged election because all of the information has been coming out, and I've been watching it and following it. I live in the U.S. for a long time. However, I still follow up in Guyana, and I was really hoping and praying that we had a change.
Okay.
I had to encourage all of my family members to go out and vote, make sure to vote for Team Win, because he is the one that I feel in my heart.
Right.
That he is the one can make a difference for the people of Guyana.
Yeah, I like him. I like Mohammed. I do like him.
I do too. I really do too. And I feel that he had the people interest in heart.
Right.
However, that didn't work out. But I am still being hopeful, because God is able to do all things. And I thank God for Melly Mel too. I've been following her. And she exposed a lot of things, her and
Odessa.
Odessa. And also they had a guy with Melly Mel. Keon Jabbar, I think is his name. She will know who it is. But the two of them have been shedding a lot of light on this election just before the election. And a lot of the corruption that has been going on. So I was really, really have my hope up that Mr. Mohammed as Dean would have won this election. I know he win the election. He just was cheated out of it.
Right. Understood.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to tune in with you all
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Right.
7:30.
7:30 on the dot. We're going to be here and we're going to break down a lot of things. I'm going to pull out some stats too that I have. So we're going to have a real serious breakdown. So I appreciate you calling in.
Awesome.
If you want to pass through tomorrow night and give me a shout too and say hi, I would really appreciate that.
I definitely.
Thank you. What's your name,
Yes,
sweetheart?
I definitely will.
If you care to share your name, sweetheart. If you don't, I understand. If you have a nickname.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said no. What's your name so I can remember you? If you care to share your name or a nickname, if that's okay.
I did not. No, my name is Jennifer.
Okay.
Jennifer is my name.
Jennifer.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna find a soca song for you named Jennifer. All right, have a good night, sweetheart.
All right.
Take care, right?
You too.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you, Miss Babbzy.
All right, good. All right. So, people, we have a serious situation on our hands. Team Caribbean, we got to get involved. It looks like Guyana needs our help. Let's check the comments. Everyone is saying thank you, Babbzy. You're welcome, everybody. Big up yourself. All of you that are here tonight, I appreciate you passing through. This was impromptu. Normally, I was thinking that we should have this on a Sunday at 7:30. But what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. But we're going to have a part 2 because if we don't have a part 2, we're going to get kicked out. Because it's been running for a while now, and the IG got cut off. So, and I think the YouTube might have got cut off by now too. So I wanted to thank everyone for passing through. I want to see what song I can play for you guys on my way out. Guyanese Esquire, this was a good conversation. Of course it was. So we need to talk about... this might be a good song to play on the way out. Make sure you drop a like on the video, please, because this was an impromptu to get Melly Mel and to get Odessa Primus together with Babbzy. It was very hard. It was not easy work, right? Drop a like for Babbzy. That's the least you can do is drop a like on the video. Follow my page on Facebook, Babbzy at large, right? I don't worry about who's cussing me on whoever page. I don't do gremlin cussing, right? Like I do serious cussing, right? Big up yourself. Oh, wait. Tamara's there. Wait, Warren Civic. Big up yourself. How you doing? Yes, Her Eminence is there on the YouTube. Big up everybody. So listen, just because you over here talking about Indian this and you ain't black in this, I got a song for you.
Why y'all this bloodshed? Whenever man trying to find him tea bread, you, it don't matter who you be, it don't matter who you know, it don't matter where you grow. Hear me, big man, you hear me? Check in the stage show.
Don't care where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African.
Gramps Morgan, Maris Hamid.
Don't mind your nationality, you have got the identity of an African. Perfect sound. Cause if you come from Clarendon, and if you come from Portland, and if you come from Westmoreland, you're an African. Yeah. Leave me.
Sing it, Barris, go.
You are who you are, and nothing will change. Long as you're black, nothing will please. Those cases, false faces. They think that you're slaves from birth to graves. You're just a nobody. You should never have. So if you come from America or Saudi Arabia or anywhere from near about ya, you're an African. Yeah.
No matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you are an African.
An African.
Marcia Griffiths.
No mind your complexion, there is no rejection. You are an African.
Timara.
And if your complexion high, if your complexion low, if your complexion in between, you are an African.
Oh yeah. I'm comfortable in my skin. Never wanna bleach out this melanin. Never betray my race, although prejudice we face. But in this case, I will forever hail my roots. Never ever wanna be a rose bread fruit. Holding to the task, don't forget.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for passing through. Tomorrow, 7:30, I'm going to set it up right now for you so we can have this conversation. I am an African. You understand? Later, people. Goodbye. Have a great night. Thank you, Odessa Melly Mel. Tomorrow, we going to pop it off on these motherfuckers. We going to pop it off on these motherfuckers.